I tell you what, like
Hmm.
I've been a gamer for a very long time, Ghost.
Yeah, yeah.
I might have haven't been there since the Nintendo or the Atari era, but listen, I've been here for a very, very long time. And
Yeah.
I've been here long enough to know that censorship has always been a problem with the gaming community.
Yes.
Always have been a problem with the gaming community. Do you know one of the first consoles out there that used to censor their games drastically?
Super Nintendo? Nintendo?
Yes, the Super Nintendo, the Super No Friendo. I remember when Mortal Kombat came out in its
Hmm.
prime. Mortal Kombat came out in its prime. And I remember the Super No Friendo, they said no blood, no, they damn they removed the fighting in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Damn there. On in the Sega Genesis, they wanted to promote where you could come here and everything was going to be extreme. This is going to be the gamers council, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like Super Nintendo had always wanted to create a family environment, a safe environment, a place where you can come as a family and enjoy your flipping games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that has always had been a problem in the gaming community for years upon years to come. Ghost, I'm dead serious. I was literally in a podcast. I'm sorry, Ghost. Introduce yourself. This is my boy Ghost. Got nothing but love for this guy. He's going to join me on today's show. Ghost, we're going there today. We're going to talk about Sony censoring. Going from here on out on. I heard that they censored something in Devil May Cry 5. Did you hear about that?
Yes, that was actually going to be like the first thing I went into because that was like a big focus about censorship a while back.
Yeah.
At first, nobody really thought too much of it. I didn't really think too much of it. They finally ended up actually changing it back to what it was in Japan, because I guess a lot of people complained about it. The other consoles, the PC, they had it exactly how it was supposed to be.
Yes.
But Sony has had this problem ever since they've like relocated, and if you've been reading the articles, you've been keeping up with it.
Mhm.
It's looking like it's gonna get worse. It's gonna be a social justice warrior agenda,
Yes.
and they're gonna focus on censoring what I guess we love as guys in
Yes.
our games, because they just don't want us to be
And what is
happy.
that, Ghost? What do we love as guys? Keep it real. Come on.
The
Boobs,
violence,
right?
the
Boobs.
gore, the boobs, the tits, the ass, the everything.
Okay, cool. For years, I've been gaming for a very long time. And I remember in its prime when Mortal Kombat came out, and I remembered Mortal Kombat was like the hottest thing moving because it was a fighting game that the people were ripping people's heads out of their spinal cords. They
Mhm.
were killing people. They were raping women. There was a fatality when they raped a woman. I swear. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we're going past the YouTube guidelines, but we got to go.
they,
This video's not getting monetized, but we have to go there for this topic. You know what I
they
mean?
they put a cop in Mortal Kombat 3 just because there was a black guy in it.
Yeah, they had a cop in the corner just standing there watching the black guy. You know what I mean? Every time you pick the black guy,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they used to go there back in the, I mean, like, I watched the first trailer for the Mortal Kombat, and they're going there. They're going there too far. You know what I mean? Well, I think they're doing censorship as well. Mortal
Oh
Kombat.
yeah. To be honest, I think Mortal Kombat 11 or whatever. I
Yeah,
think it's actually more censored, not just like in the aspect of the character designs, like they're
yes,
censoring how the women are.
yeah,
Katana's not even like a warrior; she's just some small Asian chick. Looks like she came right out of Star Wars or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, it kind
yeah.
of seems like they toned back like the X-ray attacks. You can't even like see the bones crushing and anything anymore.
Oh, they
Like,
they censored the violence as well because what I saw was extremely violent. But I
yeah,
don't know.
it was still bloody, but I feel like I saw worse in 9 and 10. Like, some of those were just kind of actually even hard to look at. But
Yeah.
you know,
But
it's
but but
whatever.
to get back to the point, Ghost, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Go ahead.
For years, censorship in gaming was bad. It was wrong, and it was definitely wrong because Nintendo was doing it. I was on an Xbox podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
they were mad because there wasn't blood in Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
They
Which is a
wanted,
little weird, like.
yeah, they wanted more violence. They were tired of the restrictions of Nintendo. They were tired of Nintendo holding their hands. They were tired of Nintendo treating them like this was like it was Disney or something like that, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
now Nintendo's leading the charge. Now
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has created one of the greatest consoles of all time. It's right up there in my top three.
Mm-hmm.
They have created a council where they said, you know what? We're removing the restrictions. We're removing the guidelines. We're not holding your hands anymore. We're allowing you to do whatever it is that you want to do when it pertains to games. We're treating you like an adult,
Uh-huh.
the adult that you wanted to be treated like. And now I don't hear anybody saying anything. I mean, literally, I have seen people who are, let's call out names. What's his name?
Shadow Elite.
Shadow Elite. Let's call names. Shadow Elite is a guy that I know that plays JRPG games. And every game that he plays involves some type of hamster voice, girls with their breast
Oh,
hanging out, mini
oh,
skirts, you know, and all of a sudden he doesn't have a problem with it anymore.
I mean, you should have been on that podcast that me and Blandy were on with
Yeah.
them a while ago, like on the after show. Because I mean, they were even during like the show, they were talking about what's the game that Hyper Dimension that
Yeah,
became
yeah,
a
yeah,
series.
yeah.
They
That's
were
a game that you only play for sexual reasons now, and that's
yeah,
one of Sony's only games that they have. But I think Nintendo Switch has it now. But
yeah.
still, when you play a game like that, when you play these other games where there's Japanese girls with the hamster voices and their chest hanging out and there's dumplings and all of that, you know, that's what you play that for. Now Sony's talking about censoring it,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's like, I don't have a problem with that. And I said, "You bold face mother flipping lie." Now I wasn't there. This is just news that I got from somebody else, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just angry about it. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, apparently, I believe he took that video down
Uh,
because he probably didn't realize like the exact repercussions of
well,
what
I don't
doing a
want to just
video
make it.
like
I don't want to make it seem like it's just him. I'm just saying it's the whole community of gamers now where they don't have a problem. It's like Sony can do anything, and they don't have a problem with it.
Well, this always happens when it comes to Sony, especially. I don't know if it's like a large majority of people or just a small minority that do this, but Nintendo, like when the Wii U came out and they were censoring some games on there, like some games that only Frozen I feel like would play anyway, like what is that? That Fire Emblem Cross it, what
Fire Emblem.
no, it was it
Fire,
was
Fire versus Shin Megami Tensei. That was what it was
yeah,
originally called, but then it was called something else. I don't know, but yeah, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. People were complaining about that, how they were censoring costumes and stuff in that game, and Xenoblade
Oh
Chronicles
yeah,
X.
yeah, yeah. Xenoblade and Fire Emblem, Fates and Echoes. They were.
Yes.
There was a big uproar over that.
You couldn't use the breast slider, which was
Yeah.
probably like the one thing that was removed.
Uh-huh.
I think there was a lot more problems with Fire Emblem Fates though, because they actually had to change like the whole translation. Things weren't getting made right, and that same problem I don't think happened with Echoes. Like they had a different team for that.
You're right, Ghost. You're 100% right. And I remember at the time, I was like, what's the big freaking deal? I just want to play some Fire Emblem. But I'm just trying to call out hypocrisies right now. And at
Mhm.
that time, everybody was so mad. They were losing it. They were, and I'm like, yo, what? I mean, like there were articles, there were videos, they were so done and through with Nintendo. And then Sony comes out with this article, and I don't see nothing.
Yeah, it is. There are a few people just within the nerd communities, like I would say, like the super weebs. But as far as like the majority, I haven't really seen anybody talking about it. In fact, I've seen a lot of big heads probably defending it for the most part,
Yeah,
saying that they've been basically insulting people that play these
yeah,
weebs.
yeah. There you go. Then it goes into the bullying campaign when it involves Sony. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
now we have to bully you because Sony is anti-consumer. They're anti-gamer. Now they're anti-developer.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we go into the bullying campaign. I did a video yesterday talking about what the hell, why are we excited for the PlayStation 5? They haven't shown us anything. Where are the goddamn games? I've been waiting since 2004 for them to give me some 2004. I meant to say 2014, but I really should have said 2004. I've been waiting ever since the goddamn PlayStation 2, to be honest with you, to bring me some goddamn games.
I think what bothers me the most is the same people that are, coming out against a lot of the fans, are people that are into anime. They're into
And
Persona.
that's Yo, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ghost. I'm sorry, but yeah, you're 100% right. The people that are, I remember I used to do videos saying that Japanese makes the best games. Japan makes the best games, and it had nothing to do with me being a weeb, or it was just, I just consider myself a pro-truth person. I just tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think when it comes to video games that America or any Western developers is able to touch Japan in any other way. You know what I mean? This is going back from the beginning of gaming, as gaming was. The Atari was more of a Western-based console, but that thing was up and out of here. The Nintendo had to come and save gaming, and that's a Japanese developer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what's funny is that I used to make these videos, and the people would say, well, you're a weeb, you're a loser. Then you look at their username, it's a Sasuke there, Hokage 1239. You know what I'm saying?
Sheikah Cloud.
This is before Dragon Ball. This is before Dragon Ball Super, so that they didn't have Dragon Ball characters as their names. So it was all these Naruto guys, and not only that, those same guys that were calling me a weeb and this and that and the third are playing the Yakuzas now, or playing the Sekiros now, or playing all these, the Zelda Breath of the Wilds, playing and enjoying all these Japanese games. And I was the main one to lead that charge thousands of years ago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But no, you're 100% spot on. And I got another thing for you.
Okay. Try to answer to the best of my ability.
We already know what the game is. We know this is a Sony Defense Force thing, so that whatever Sony does is going to be okay. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it is a big of a deal because y'all made it a big of a deal ever since going back from Mortal Kombat, from what I could remember. Now, Ghost, do you think Japan should cut ties with Sony?
Oh, I absolutely, but I feel like that's going to end up happening anyway, because this, you know how the PS4 came out, and then they had like those small like Japanese games like Omega Quintet and shit like that, like very garbage titles, but and they're wasting a lot of time focusing on like Last of Us, which God knows when that's going to come out. But the Switch has been like a perfect platform for like Japanese developers, like even like smaller ones, right? Where their games can do decently well. Like I don't think anybody was going out and buying like Omega Quintet on the PS4. Now it's like it became like a cool thing to be in the Japanese crowd, I guess, in like 2016 when Nier Automata dropped, Persona 5 dropped,
Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
No, I'm not dissing you.
I know. Neo, all that came out.
QC0, yeah.
Which were like, they had to be promoted at that point because Sony really didn't have anything. Like, you'd look at all the best games, or at least all the games that people praised of that year and beyond. It's been like a Japanese title. You even look at how highly rated they are on your Metacritics, your IGNs, or whatever. The Japanese games started increasing in like scores. Like after what was that EA game or came out that everybody, Mass Effect, Andromeda or whatever. I think that was like the biggest turning point in people just not really caring about like Western development on the PlayStation console. And ever since then, like these games have been dying quicker and quicker when they release. Like you see Spider-Man came out, that died fast on release. God of War, that died pretty fast on release. And they've just been regulated to memes. Nobody really talks about the games.
Goes, you killing these cats, yo. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm driving the car, but you hanging out the window, spraying up the block, baby. You spraying up the block. Listen up, Ghost. Like, you're 100% right. I believe Sony's racist. You know what I mean? This is what I allege. I believe that they're pulling a racist act right now. And like what you just said, Japan was basically keeping the PlayStation 4 afloat. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I mean, they're keeping the PlayStation 4 afloat right now. They just came out with Devil May Cry. They came out with Resident Evil 2. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like what you just said. When Sony had nothing, there were all of these Japanese games to hold that spot for them. And now, you know, after Japan had then did all of that for them, and now Sony's talking about being more, you know, cracking down on Japan games more when Japan had your back. Did that little dry spell when cats were waiting for the Spider-Mans and they were waiting for the God of Wars, and when they came out, they were garbage.
Mhm.
Japan held that down, man. And how dare they come out here and attack the Japanese like that? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think they should leave. Level 5 is gone. They're out of here. They led the charge first. They said they're gone. Not only that, wasn't there a guy that just retired from a
Yes, I wanted to talk about that. That was Marvelous with Senran Kagura, the creator of that.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Apparently, he's working at some other division of Sony. From what I was hearing, I don't know. I'd probably need to do a little bit more research into that. But as far as the Senran Kagura series is going, you know, they hadn't been censoring like any of the titles. You know, they had been coming over here just fine, exactly how they were. But you know, they had already stated like a couple months back, like with the release of this new edition. I think it's like a remake of the 3DS game, that they were going to be taking out features from the game.
Yeah.
Um, but
Stifling creativity. Stifling.
yes,
This has nothing to do with SJW. Nothing. It's creativity. And in the realm of creativity, or in the realm of art, you can do whatever you want to do. That's why these rappers can come out and talk about killing and shooting and stabbing and this and that and the third. But it's under the realm of art. There's a reason why the rock and rollers would come out and talk about worshiping devils, and these churches and other people would try to sue rock and rollers, but the judges would throw these cases out because it was under the realm of art.
yeah, which I really think, you know, a little bit off topic, but I really think with like comedians, you know,
Yes.
they're really trying to stifle comedians because some dude just got arrested the other day for making a joke on like a politician or something.
Yeah.
And he's getting, you know, that's really unfair because
Yeah.
like you're a comedian, you should be able to make jokes about political figures. You should be able to make jokes about current world events, but I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Problem.
And let me get back to why I think Sony is racist.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm reading articles, and Sony is saying that we're going to double down. We're going to put stricter censorship on Japanese games, right? For their sexual themes, right?
Yeah.
But like, this is where I think it's racist because number one,
They'll
Japan.
have Caucasians in The Last of Us 2, lesbian Caucasians.
Damn it, Ghost, you spoiling, man. I'm trying to tell it, man. I'm trying to tell the story now, man. But no, what were you saying? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, they're trying to censor all of that in Japanese games, but you know, they have a bunch of lesbian Caucasian.
That was the first thing that they showed us when they showed off E3. They started off with two girls kissing.
Yeah. You know, they got us. You know, this is California, man. This is the future of Sony if they stay over there, because that's like liberal territory. So,
I'm just saying, like, come on now. If we're going to censor sexual themes, let's censor it across the board. Why are you being stricter and doubling down on Japan, but you're allowing The Last of Us to show extreme violence and lesbian kissing? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense.
I think a lot of these organizations, it's not just Sony. I think what's the company with the FGC? when they were doing stuff, there was a game that was shown that people were censoring on stream. I can't remember what it was, but they went over to Mortal Kombat and they were showing a bunch of blood and violence, and they were okay with that. But there was a video.
Let's see them double down on the Witcher. I don't know if they're making any more Witcher games, but let's see if they double down on the next Witcher game. We'll come back to this topic later on when the next Witcher games comes out, because the Witcher likes to show titties and ass and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's see if that's racist. Shit, I played Japanese games for years, and the stuff that I saw in those games was nowhere near as bad, in my opinion, than two weird-looking girls kissing in a big event. What the hell did that have to do with the zombie apocalypse? What did that have to do with The Last of Us 2? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think Japan needs to cut ties with Sony immediately. Number one, Sony fanboys don't like your games. They've been telling me that for years. Number two, strict censorship that they're not going to be applying on Western developers. I think Japan needs to be out of there ASAP. They need to take all of their games and put them on the Xbox and the Nintendo Switch.
What I want to see, though, is people actually going out and supporting these games, though, because you'll see a lot of people complain, like a couple of people, like large groups of people, they'll complain about how things are getting censored, or, they'll complain about how Captain Marvel is a feminist movie, and then, they'll go out and see it, or they'll go out and buy, like, the agenda that they don't want from these companies, instead of going out and buying stuff that they actually say or claim that they want.
Yeah. That's another topic for another day that will, the people are programmed, but it's going to take a small few like us to break the infection. You know what I mean? To break the programming.
Yeah.
This is bull crap, man. This is complete bull crap. I can't believe this. Now, this might be an old topic, but I never talked about it. And this is something that's really been chapping my goddamn ass.
Yeah.
That Sony is coming out and first, I mean, it was cool that you were anti-consumer. Okay, it was cool that you weren't making games for gamers. Okay, it was cool that you were making more movies than actual games. Okay, it was cool that you were making terrible games that were clogging up the bargain bin for $5 a pop. Did you see that the other day? Uncharted 4 is $5 flipping at GameStop. Did you see that?
Is that a shock? I mean, they had to pack it in with the system just so people would buy it.
Hey, Horizon Zero Dawn is $10.
The funny thing about that is I think Wii Sports was packaged with the Wii, and that probably runs for more money.
Yeah, it was a free game. Now you got to spend $100 to get that game. You know what I mean?
It's hilarious.
Out of control. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Ghost, thank you so much for joining the show. I pray that this gets to Japan, and Japan really starts to consider not making any more games for that console. That is straight up racism. That is discrimination. And I think Japan should really, really consider pulling out. And now we can really see what that goddamn PlayStation is going to be in the future without any Japanese games. I mean, this is what Sony fanboys have been asking for years anyway. We don't care about Japanese games. You need to grow up. You're a weeb. You're this, you're that, and the third. Let's get rid of all that. Put them on the Switch, just like Final Fantasy VII, and let's see how far that PlayStation 5 is going to go. Go ahead, Ghost. I'll give you the final word.
Yeah, that Sakura Wars is coming out over there. That's probably going to be a flop. So, bring that
Sakura Wars, what's that?
That strategy RPG.
It's going to the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's a pseudo reboot, pseudo remake of the old game.
Only did 2 million or 2.5 million.
Yeah, it did like
Sakura Wars going to do about 500,000 at best.
Yeah, I was thinking it probably do because it'll probably do better than like the Sky games because they usually do about 300K or something.
Yeah.
I don't see Sakura Wars doing that well, especially with the PlayStation 4 at the end of the life cycle.
Mega, bring Sakura Wars over to the Switch, man. We'll eat it up.
Yeah,
that's $1 million easy on the Switch. And guess what? We have less than half of the user base that the PlayStation 4 has. Bring it on over, baby. We'll buy it. Anyway, let's get up out of here, Ghost, man.
Yeah.
Guys, man, a bunch of losers, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? These PlayStation losers. You know what I mean?